Ladies and gentlemen, general denizens of the interwebs, my name is Uber, and it is my pleasure to welcome you back to Team Down TV's coverage of the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships, our Round 3 game between Legacy and Avant Garde going to Game 3. We're in Champion Select right now. I'm here with the man Jish, who had his own stab at play-by-play casting just now, mate. How are you feeling, and what are we looking forward to in this game? What are we expecting?
Hopefully we're expecting no more play-by-play from Jish, but we should see Legacy make a comeback. I mean, they're banning out the composition, or the Twitch anyway, that just beat them. They're probably adjusting their play. They're ready to come back and take the win.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm sure you think that your Legacy and Avant Garde are on a high after that game. What a convincing victory for them. They, now on the purple side, though, don't have the luxury of the first pick, so they will ban that Zillion out. Maokai and Cassidy, no surprises there. Nidalee Twitch Lulu being banned from a Legacy, so that Veritas Twitch really not something they want to ever have to deal with, probably again after that. But it's going to be Alistar locked in straight away. Ejim wants the cow, and this time he's going to make sure Avant Garde can't milk those.
Yeah, definitely. So we see that there is a really high priority on that champion. Banned, I think, the first game, and then picked on first rotation, and then picked again now. He has a lot of ambiguity. He can go in top lane. He can go support. He's just a really strong pick at the moment.
Absolutely. There's no argument there from me with my bronze 5 analysis. But Lee Sin being locked in by Yozora. I love him on Lee Sin. So impactful. Early or late, doesn't even matter. And Cogmore for Veritas this time now. So might be a corky here from Cardred, if I'm honest. I mean, he'd probably be looking at that one at the moment. I have to see what Legacy want here, really, looking up at against this. Do we see Lucian 80 carry anymore, Jish? Like, is that really an option? Or are we really preferring to see him in the mid lane?
No, you can still see him. I think after the VT changes, his nerfs, his changes, he's not that that like priority pick that just has to be grabbed every game. He still has his place. He's still really good. I think Tristana is definitely the stronger choice here, which is what they're looking at the moment.
Okay, definitely consideration for Cardred here, and an Orianna perhaps for Chuchu, who's one of his very best champions, if I'm honest. And he has locked that one in. So Tristana going to be in the pot lane, presumably with Ejim on Alistar now. Avant Garde already strong lineup. What are they going to follow up with here? Definitely probably thinking about the Orianna and how they're going to deal with that. Surely not Galio. Veritas pulling my leg, no doubt. But yeah, there's a lot of AoE potential there being set up for Orianna, especially with Alistar going in, pulverize into Shockwave. It might prove very, very difficult for Avant Garde to deal with in any sort of capacity here. Again, hovering over some pixies. He likes to hover the GP. I don't know if that's the plan. I think it's maybe a reference to him and Cardred playing together in solo queue. I think there was a Gangplank support there. I think that's the backstory, but I could very well be wrong. Ooh, Twisted Fate. Not a bad pick at all. We've seen Kenzie do some serious work on him. Is that acceptable against Orianna?
Yeah, I mean, Twisted Fate's game is you get to level 6 and you win someone else's lane. I mean, you forfeit your own lane a lot because you take Ghost often. I'm not saying this always happens, but generally they'll take the Ghost Flash and then they'll get the level 6, they'll port to another lane and they'll try win that. Orianna should be able to bully him a little bit, but Ori2 also pretty ultimate dependent. I don't think we'll see any solo kills like we did at the wild card.
I think Kempsey is going to go deep kills here. We did it last night especially. He was more than happy to ult halfway down the lane. And Yozora on Elise had to do a bit of catching up there as well. But I do believe that was combined with Nada's Thresh just to set up some there as well. So I expect to see Kempsey very, very out and about town, so to speak. And Legacy, this is crucial for them. If they lose this game, they go 1-2. And that's really not where they want to be right now. Avant Garde continue their rise, to be honest, to the top. I think that's going to make them 4-1, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very good. Doing very well since obviously being picked up by that organization. The question is now, do they continue to roll towards victory? Legacy yet to lock champions yet. Absolutely not giving Avant Garde too much of a chance to think about it here. Nocturne for Impaired. Definitely not a champion we saw Carbon play, but Impaired looking a bit more confident, and Ejim is going to be on that Leona. It won't be Leona jungle because Carbon's not here, but Minkuwa taking Alistar into the top lane.
Yeah, so that's just the strength of Alistar, obviously. I mean, really ambiguous pick, can go support or top. I think it makes sense, really. You don't know where the matchup, so there's no point picking a counter because there's obviously no top lane to pick at the moment. They get a good support onto the Kog'Maw. I mean, Leona obviously going to dive on to Kog'Maw and lock him up. To be honest, I think the Nocturne pick's actually relatively strong here. I think it's really good to dive the back line, and I think it synergizes well with Orianna. I think the only other consideration would have been Rengar, but I think Nocturne must be more of a comfort pick for Impaired.
Absolutely. I mean, I have fond memories of seeing Cisco ham on his Nocturne. He was one player that just managed to be everywhere when he had to be. And now it looks like Impaired wants to try and do a similar thing. It'll be Mundo in the top lane. Who can really deal with Alistar in the top lane, sort of in any capacity right now?
I think that there are a few champions who can handle it to a degree. I think Mundo is possibly one of them. It really comes down to Alistar has a lot of gank assistance, which is really strong. It's one of the reasons he's such a strong pick, is that when you get the likes of Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, Elise, you get those really strong early ganks with so much CC that you just can't respond to. I think getting the Nocturne pick changes that dynamic a little bit, and we may see it not work out perfectly, but it could be completely wrong because of how strong the champion is.
That's right. Well, let's see if the Caster's Curse comes into effect here, or the players manage to overcome that. I've heard it's pretty potent, to be honest. It's going to be the Tristana-Leona lane. Now, Leona always implies a sense of aggression, especially at those milestone levels, 2, 3, and 6. Expect Nada to be taking that Flay level 1 into that lane, and just in case Legacy bot lane sort of hit that level 2 first. We know Tristana is still good at early game. Do Legacy, do they want it? Do they honestly want to fight this that hard early on, or is it all dependent on, that Leona making the engagement?
Yes, there are interesting power stacks and dynamics to the way the lane should be played. Obviously, Leona getting really strong at those crucial levels, and Tristana actually being quite fine early game despite a lot of popular opinions. I think her issue definitely comes down to mid game between items. So I think actually they do have a lot of early aggression, especially the double jump in could throw them off a lot. The only thing that Legacy have to watch out for is that Avant still have that ranged poke that they just versed last game through the Kog'Maw and his W.
Okay. Let's see though if this works out. I mean, we've seen how good Kog'Maw gets at level 6. We kind of already glossed over what happens there when he does get his living artillery. Now, Dish, we've got a bit of time here, man. We haven't really had a chance to introduce you properly to the stream. Do you maybe just want to give everyone an idea about, who you are? They probably know you better than me, but nonetheless, why don't you let everyone know where you're coming from and I guess, what you've been up to.
Yeah, okay, so I've just bounced around, not really doing much or making much of an impact in the scene for about the last 12 months. Been on a few of those little hopeful teams to get put together for the regional events, with Best League Guild coming to autumn, and then Little Dorito coming into winter, and most recently coming to finals. I've been picked up by Rippy's new team, Direwolves. So I'm coaching them at the moment. I fulfill a head coach / analyst role, which is really fun. Hopefully it pans out better than my last two teams and we make it this time.
Well, I can tell you right now that definitely fulfilling your analyst role here very, very well. Some great feedback from the stream as well, guys. You can follow us, of course, over at Twitter, at TeamDownTV. For Jish is at JishLol, and I'm at Ubershout. So do jump in and get involved in the conversation here as well as on the stream chat. We always love to gloss over things after the game's finished, or maybe throw a bit of BM back and forth. It's kind of what we do. Do want to take this chance as well to give a massive shout out to our sponsors, keeping this one going. Of course, Logitech, our major sponsor, AMD, M-Wave, Netgear, BenQ, and MSI. Big shout out to those guys for essentially powering this league, and it's been a cracker so far. Really, really good for Season 2, and we're loving the involvement here as well. Some big teams, some big plays, and some big games overall. So hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because we are far from done. Only round 3 and round 4 coming up next week. Bit of a super week next week. A lot of teams are going to have 2 matches to play that week. And we here at Team Down TV, and definitely me, myself, hoping to get onto as many of those as we can. So definitely stay tuned for that now. As you can see, the summoners as well, nothing to shock anyone too much, I'd say. Gensi's got the ghost there, as well as the flash, and there's teleports for our top laners. I'm interested to see now, after all the hype from Ejim, obviously playing his Alistar at International Wildcards, if Minky can live up and fill those big cow-sized shoes, he's definitely probably not going to be bullied too heavily in the top lane. So Minky tends to thrive when he doesn't get shut down. I mean, he didn't have a great time on Mundo last game. I mean, he was into the Lulu, so fair enough. But now, maybe an opportunity for Minky to hit his straps a little bit and not have to deal with constant pressure coming at him. We'll have to see if he can make most of that now, ladies and gentlemen, getting into the Rift very, very soon. We've got some games coming up on Sunday as well. Actually got a game sort of earlier on in the day, I think, and that's going to be featuring Exodus or X-Immunity Team 1. And that'll be happening, I think, at 3 p.m. And if I'm not mistaken, later on that night, we're going to have Legacy playing against Current Immunity at 7 p.m. So it's all happening. We're all going to be there. If you're not doing too much on a Sunday, absolutely drop by. It's going to be here at the same place, same time. You can follow me on Twitter as well at UberShouts for the updates on exactly when that is going to be happening. Definitely worth getting down to check out. Really, none of these games you want to miss. The caliber of these teams, Jish, is safe to say, in this top 8 is definitely impressive. And I really don't see any teams that just, I can't say that any of these teams doesn't have the mettle to make it into top 4 and make it across to the CGPL finals. So absolutely waiting with bated breath to see what will come of that. Now, level 1, I like to talk about it. We saw the Avant-Garde, a little bit of early aggression here. Is anyone looking for a lane swap here? Is the Avant-Garde going to want to go deep for that ward here, or are they content that it's going to be a 2v2?
Well, it really depends on how they want to play out their early to mid game. I mean, there is the advantage of range that Avant-Garde have that they can try draw on. They do want to probably provide some pressure through Lee Sin, and putting lane swaps into the game often changes the dynamic of the jungle, which means they have to either babysit or help push a tower. So I wouldn't be too surprised to try see normal lane set up again, purely so they can have the impact of Yozora on his Lee Sin and that we saw last game.
And he was very, very good at that as well. I mean, we saw him against YSSC constantly sort of making plays happen there. Mickey Whale just doesn't have any time for Porky's, for whatever he's trying to sell there. I think Impaired making his way across as well. Just try and ward Mundo off. A little bit of damage there coming out from Dust Trail, but obviously you don't expect any of these fights to amount to much as well. Ward's coming down. Additionally, 30 seconds for those minions to come out. No one really pushing too far at all. Minky Whale wants to recall for some reason. Maybe a bait. He's still looking fairly healthy. He will go back to base there, but at this stage, it looks like both teams going for standard setups. Although a couple deeper wards placed by Avant-Garde towards the red side of the map, I doubt they'll try and capitalize too much on that.
Yeah, so Minky actually went back to base because he popped one of his flask charges. So with so much time in between now and laning, he just probably wanted to grab an extra stack on that, and he seems to be waiting around for a fourth potion. Yeah, he just grabbed another health potion there.
Okay, so wanting to keep himself going obviously can be a little bit mana intensive, especially if you're spamming that Triumphant Roar for that sustain, which you kind of want, especially if you're solo laning in this fashion. Going to be a red start for Yozora, and the same for Impaired. So junglers with the same routes, but may see them end up at different sides of the map. It might not be a counter gank at level 3 like we saw last time. Choo-Choo's already trying to get ahead of Kenzie. They're trying to throw the clockwork wind up down on Ejim. Just sort of holding in that bot lane now, waiting for Cardrick to join. He does make it in, but it will probably be a level 2 first. Definitely won't be Cardrick in there one up straight away. And Minky already happy to duke it out in that top lane with Porky.
Yeah, so we saw the opposite side of the map start because there's no dual potential that Nocturne's going to have. The other thing is that they're actually, I think Impaired's actually looking for the delayed invade, and he's chopped a ward down, but nothing's going to come of that because Yozora's on the other side of the map. It really comes down to the fact that they're trying to get the advantage. They know that Avant know that they've got the early jungle pressure, so they're really trying to put that into effect here.
All right, Minky Wild just trying to essentially headbutt Porky away from the wave every time he tries to go for one, and that's just resulted in a small CS lead at this stage. Confidence on this Alistar. Another headbutt towards Porky. And actually, I'm taking him a little bit low, if I'm honest. Cardrick now Got to be standing on that Void Ooze and take a little bit of damage from Veritas here. Interested to see how Veritas will perform on this Cogmore. Generally, fairly confident on his other picks here. Card's going to miss a CS there. Happens with the Ren passive. He's going to have to deal with that now. We can see in the mid lane, Choo Choo's getting jumped. You can see what's up as well. Doesn't have a card locked yet. Choo Choo's probably not in a position to go forward, at least bluffing that he is willing to. And I can see actually has the CS lead early.
Yeah, so that probably could come down just to individual performance. I mean, it's pretty early in the game, so CS advantages at the moment are obviously only in small numbers.
Well, big pull across now. Wow, Cardra wants to come forward on towards Nada. It is but look at the damage going towards Cardra now. The exhaust being used on Veritas. I think Cardra needs the heal to get away here, and it will be a flash flank backwards to EG now caught in the middle of a situation no one really wants to be in. Cardra's going to come forward as well. Shield of Daybreak as well. Going to be used in a second. Trying to stun up. We can see the Eclipse being used for extra damage. EG is extended too far. One more auto. The flash won't even do it. First blood to Veritas. A miscalculation there by Legacy in their bot lane, and already Avant-Garde's bot laner has that kill under his belt. Impaired now, comes into the lane. Cardra knows he's got to be a little bit of risk of being attacked here. Dust Trail hits onto Veritas now, but it is a dark passage that gets Cogmore out of trouble. Nada, good foresight to set himself up at the top of that bush, pulling his AD carry out of danger.
Yeah, so really just a couple of misplays then, actually. We have a bit of a gank in the mid lane, though.
Oh, Choo Choo's going to be absolutely caught, tanking all the minions as well right now, trying to throw all over to try catch on the Kenzie, but he should have known. And Choo Choo's characteristically, I'm going to say, does extend a little bit too far. Yozora comes through from a perfect angle to pick that kill up. Already 2 in favor of Avant-Garde and Legacy. Looking at what was a fairly even start for them now. Wondering what happened.
Yeah, so in the bot lane, we saw Ijim being a bit too aggressive and a bit too greedy, going back in with the Zenith Blade when he realistically had no chance of making much out of it, and then just hanging onto his flash too late until that last projectile went through. I'd say even Nocturne played it a bit greedily when he came for the cleanup kills, I guess. It would have been more effective to go straight towards the enemy turret to clean up the Thresh, who is probably lower and an easier kill, and that actually would have denied the Cogmore Lantern.
Here we go, Yozora again at the right time. Minky not able to get the pulverize on the Porky. Might not have had the mana, but the Sonic Wave is going to miss. Minky slowed up by the infected Cleaver now. Porky keeping a respectful distance. And Minky Whale is going to have to deal with Yozora. He's trying desperately to get towards Porky. Porky just going to bait this one. Yozora taking his time, and he will take down Minky Whale. All of Legacy's lanes now falling to a gank of some sort. It's been all about Yozora getting in there and getting it done. It's what he does best, and he's been so impactful early on. Xenoblade won't get onto Veritas now. Cardra going to get turned on. A lot of damage coming his way. Nada wants to come forward. Surely with a death sentence that will hit onto EGM as well. But Teleport comes to the bot lane. On top of that, Avant-Garde got all the players in all the right places right now. Porky just for moral support, if anything right now. The Xenoblade towards Porky. EGM trying to get out. Desperately Eclipse does pop a little bit of extra damage, but it's still going to fall. Surely will it be to the burning agony of Veritas? Probably Veritas wants that one. A cheeky auto attack to finish off. Nada wants to go for more, but Cardra giving him enough distance to get out. 0-4. Legacy are not laning this well at all.
Yeah, no. Avant are really running in off this hype train they've just built themselves after the last game, and they're just showing that they can actually contend with these big name teams, even after only being around for a few weeks together.
Look, this Nocturne pick as well is meaning that it is a little bit limited in his capacity to follow up on ganks the way that Yozora can. He hasn't been there for the counter ganks like he was when he had that Elise, and Yozora is just making so much of his opportunity to get into lanes on his own. Impaired, still essentially farming up his jungle, and for all that time spent not actually ganking or counter ganking, only a small CS lead to that jungler. So really, Impaired now. Got to be thinking about how we can impact this game. He has to. He's almost level 6. It's going to be crunch time for him as well, and Legacy can't afford to fall too much further behind.
Yeah, so that obviously, Nocturne being known for his ultimate, he's going to get a big power spike through that. It really depends on how he chooses to use it. I'd say the good Nocturnes are separated from the Gate ones purely through the use of their ultimates and the timings in which they choose to use them. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to couple it in the mid lane against the fairly immobile TF with the Orianna, or if they try to go bot lane for the same effect really with the CC from Leona against the immobile Cogmore.
EGM doing some housework there, clearing the pink away as he does head back to his own side of the map. Really an important time for Card to try and build up some form of buffer here as well. Veritas up by 2 kills, already has that Phage. only a pickaxe in Cartridge's inventory to his response. So might see a similar route from him. Maybe the Zeal will be his next item, but he's got that Mana Crystal in his inventory, so maybe the Zeal. So maybe the Sheen is what he wants next. Oh, God, brain fart. But Blue going over towards Kenzie here. Minka Whale bullying nicely, but doesn't even have a kill to his name. He actually died once. There's 2 assists on Porky. Porky making good use of his teleport. Minka Whale content to just shove.
Despite the lead you may see in the scoreboard, you have to obviously give credit for the fact that Minky's already 20 CS ahead in that lane, and that's really going to come into play here.
Yeah, big leap for how early on we are in the, let's be honest, only 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Veritas yet again coming forward as he likes to do. Jumping this wave in under the tower, and Ozora hit himself up. He'll be spotted out by a ward instantly here. And look at the top lane. Here we go. Impaired wants a bit of Porky as well. This is who you need to jump on. Kenzie wants some as well. Will he be there in time? Will he be able to make the difference? Gold card towards Minky. Minky is not taking it. All he's got is a Sheen in his inventory. Porky can escape, and he does. And now Minky's going to deal with Kenzie. Gold card hits on. Wild card does not, but it's still plenty of damage. And it's enough. Minky Whale again in the same situation he was a couple minutes ago. This time it's Porky that picks up the kill. Impaired got the hell out of dodge. He just wanted to go down towards mid and push that in and make use of Kenzie's disappearance. But my God, Legacy getting outplayed at every turn here. Legion goes toward Yozora. A bit of tower damage from as well. Shield and Jailbreak to start him up. But Cardred is low. Living Artillery going to be crucial here as well. And Cardred knows he can't really hang around for too much longer. Legacy just not able to really make the plays they're wanting to play. Jim again going on towards Yozora. It might be a little bit caught out. Yozora. Oh, Minky comes in, eats up Yozora, but now a chance on towards Veritas as well. Dark Passage will get him out for now. Minky Whale chases on. He's going to be able to dodge the Living Artillery, but the play slow will make him a little bit harder for him to get in there. He still closes with Veritas. He wants that kill. The red buff ticks. They might have to settle for Nada here as well. Cartridge goes super deep for this. Will it be worth it? Oh, an auto attack from Nada there. He wants the flash forward. Nada makes the play. Can he make it a double? Minky does pick up Veritas there. The Captain Surprise going to do a bit of damage there. Ejim forced to run away from Nada. Nada turning it around there as well. Minky now finally rejoins Ejim. But I don't think they'll be able to make a play off this. Nada's going to sit in that try for a little while, and we'll just keep an eye on that side of the map. You can see a little bit of a rotation down there from Choo Choo's, but he's going to back away. Nada is going to get out with his life, and Avant Garde playing it better at every turn right now.
Yeah, so I don't think that went exactly how they wanted it to, with Minky teleporting in, but they really needed to respect the fact that they weren't going to have the teleport advantage after just teleporting down to bot lane, even though it actually turned out to be a relatively even trade.
Right. Despite all of this, Porky pushing now on towards this top outer turret. Pings over the map as well. Yozora very, very deep, throwing a pink ward into the jungle, and now going to go for those wolves. Going to try and collapse on Impaired as well. Kenzie is there, standing under that tower. They want this one. Maybe a kick from Yozora. Going to wait for the shield to expire. Maybe not the right direction for Yozora, but enough damage as well to clean it up. Kenzie gets that one as well. Tower barely effective. The shockwave will catch on towards Yozora. It will be a pick there for Choo Choo's, but now he's going to 1v1. Kenzie, without the safety of his own tower, flag back towards Nada. And Choo Choo's trying to get caught up in that one. We see the Xenoflake going out. Nada going for Choo Choo's, maybe. He doesn't care what a bloodthirsty thresh he is now. The box going out. Cardred walks straight into it. Couldn't get towards Nada at all. Ejim still wants that thresh though. He is chasing Flay back. Minky now can play it on towards Nada. The stun as well. Minky Whale surely will have that one for dinner. But at what cost? Kenzie putting a lot of damage towards that tower. We saw that Yozora was well and truly out of there as well. Porky never a factor. 4 to 7 and kills, a couple more. Coming back for Legacy there. An important one for Choo Choo's, if I may say so. It's 1, 1, and 1 for him with 89 CS. Oh, wow, here we go. Nocturne wants to go in there as well. The Nightmare gonna get used. Kenzie well and truly under the safety of his own tower, though. Minky wants a teleport coming for Porky. Yozora getting caught in the wrong place between, well, a cow and a hard place. Porky now trying to push the wave back down. Choo Choo's wants a bit of safety here, I think. A little bit low on health. I don't even know how I'm still talking. I'm going to catch a breath here, but 15.8k to 19.1. Legacy making some plays, showing some backbone now. But is it too little, too late?
Yeah, so congratulations on that 5-minute spiel of action that just never stopped, but here we go again.
Wow, there we go. Minky Whale there. The flame will be good. Oh, the headbutt is even better. Nada caught under the tower now. And Porky doesn't really want too much of that. Living Artillery for a bit of pressure from Veritas here. Legacy finding some picks here, bringing the kills back to 6 and 7. 4 kills on the Minky Whale. He is doing a lot of work so far. His CS lead has dipped a little bit in terms of what he had over Porky, but the gold is coming to him, and he's going to have a fair bit in his pocket when he heads back. In fact, 1,440 to be exact. Maybe that Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, so they're really at the point where things are really make or break at the moment. There's a lot of different items being bought and a lot of different power spikes eventuating. I think this dragon could be really good here. It depends if they engage on it.
Wow, look at that. I think they're engaging on this one as well. Mikwell going in, getting a nice pulverize on towards the back line. Porky caught amongst the cards, getting out. Dark Passage is down, but Veritas is taking no damage from the back line. We're going to see the Destiny come in from Kenzie. Great solar flare to stop him in his tracks. Now Choo Choo's is running. He is trying to get away. It might be a death sentence here, but Dissonance will let him get far enough out in front. The cost, though, was high. Minky Whale and Impaired went down. Yozora staying a little bit too long. I like a bit of aggression, but that was maybe a bit over the top. But Avant can rotate for mid here, and they take that one away fairly easily. 2 turrets to none. Porky picks that one up now, and Avant-Garde still finding ways to put money into their pockets.
Yeah, so despite being a little bit aggressive on that red buff there from Yozora, we still saw the tower going down, and that purely just comes from their superior map movements for that moment. Be interesting to see how they go back and buy. I think that there's a lot of pressure on Kenzie at the moment. He'll likely go into the Zhonyas now, I assume, purely so he can ultimate in and get those creative picks to alter team fights. Last time we actually just saw him pull a blue card, so a bit of a blunder on his part, but when that ultimate comes back up, that's going to be a huge worry for Legacy to deal with.
Everyone loves the blue card salute. Maybe just not at the crucial moments. Minky Whale actually angling towards a Triforce here, and he's well under his whale to finishing his Zeal. In terms of the items coming up, you did mention that the Zhonyas might be a consideration here for Kenzie. He already has that Athene's Unholy Grail. Bit of mana sustain. Triforce completed on Veritas. Still a little ways away. Cardru now has pulled that Zeal together. So a build very similar to what you referred to now. Looks like an Avarice Blade next. So it might be that static shift first up.
Yeah, so the interesting item purchases here are, we're looking at a fight? Not
Maybe.
Exactly.
Nada coming into mid. He just walks straight in, takes a lot of damage. Here we go. The Sword Blade not there as well. Veritas falls to flash that one away. Kenzie trying to get away. Doesn't have Zhonyas yet. Does have Ghost. Does have Heal. And Impaired now going to back away. A lot of damage coming back towards the Legacy here. Cardru's going to shut down towards Yozora. Surely can they clean him up? Ignite is ticking on him. Impaired puts that last auto attack. He should be able to get there as well. No! Yozora turns it around on him. Nice resonating strike there. Cardru drops to Veritas. Too much damage. Kathy, I'm surprised. Would it claim Choo Choo's? Probably not quite. The shield comes out. Egypt gonna have to get away. Finally, the teleporting from Minky Whale. He's gonna cancel it though as well. He's gonna hang in lane with Porky. Legacy, again, just a little bit too much. We're gonna see Destiny used here by Kenzie. Where's he going? Bot lane, was it to get away? I don't know. No, it's to pick up Choo Choo's. He wants EG now. EG has no matter. Red buff is thinking this is an easy pick for the Twisted Fate. Kenzie putting into such good use here. Double kill. Didn't even need those wild cards for the damage. 13-9. Now gold lead out to about 6k.
Yeah, so that's just the power of TF. I mean, he's always been considered a fairly strong pick because of that game-changing ultimate. It's actually really interesting to see how TF's ultimate interacts with Nocturne's ultimate and who gets the better global presence from that. So I think that'll be probably a big factor going forward into this game, is that whose global counters the other, and we're going to get a bit of a dive on Minky Whale.
Yeah, less of a dive, more of a casual walk up and say hello, we're sending you back. Or Fountain Nada steals that one just with the tip of his death sentence there. Man, that turnaround was so nice from Yozora before the resonating strike. People forget, don't chase Elise in when you're low health. He can execute you. Veritas picks up that top outer turret. Some ward clearing here from Choo Choo's. He wants his blue, but what's he willing to give up for it, though? That's the question. Nada coming forward. That's a smite steal. It's going to be a shockwave towards Yozora. He will be able to get out there as well. But Nada now. He's got a hook. Cardru back. Veritas free to do all the damage that he would like. Impaired picks Kenzie as his target there, and he's got to get caught. I don't know about that one. Command Protect just to give him some durability. Yozora over the wall. Kicks Impaired over the wall. Living Artillery will pick that one up, though. Maybe a miscommunication. I don't know. And Cardru is just going to cop a lot of damage from Porky there. He will drop again and again and again. Avant-Garde coming out on top, even if it's only by 1 kill. 1 kill is enough because they're picking up a tower now as well. All the work Minky did earlier on in the game to keep his lane looking nice and shiny has just been trashed on by Avant-Garde, and they are coming forward with alacrity, ladies and gentlemen. Xenoblade attempt there from Ejim, but to no avail. Yozora, Kenzie going to back away from that.
Yeah, so a lot of that stems from the fact that Lee Sin, the epitome of an early game jungler, as opposed to Nocturne, who is arguably the opposite of that. Despite his 5 deaths, we've seen Shelby in Yozora in half of the team's kills, which is just phenomenal at the moment, with so many individual kills happening in the lanes that he just won't be there for. Definitely an MVP of this series so far.
I think suffice to say, things are just not gelling for Legacy at the moment at all. You know, they're coming in with the right idea. It's safe to say, maybe these late game comps don't work so well. Just maybe you don't get there. And I think Avant Garde is using Ozora so well right now. He's had a great night. He's 4-5-4, but he has been the spearhead and he's been targeted quite heavily as well. Choo-Choo's is more than happy to use a shockwave on him to try and take care of him, but he just safeguards out. Nada throws a box down and then they turn. Perfect play from Nada as well. He's pulling people out of position at the perfect time. That fight over near blue buff was important. The way he hooked Cardred and then left Veritas free to 1v1 Choo-Choo's. Then Impaired came in, picked Kensley the wrong target, didn't have his team to back him up. It's miscommunication, it's misplays, and it's a general struggle for Legacy, I think, to get ahead in these fights.
Yeah, it definitely is. The big saving grace factor they have to consider is that despite being on a losing team, 226 226 Orianna has immense wave clear and is probably what they needed in their previous games to stall out. We got a bit of posturing around red buff.
That's right. Kensley shut down in the meantime. Porky caught amongst it here. He's trying to come forward as well. Egypt goes low, but Cardin's still free to do damage here. Nice work. Veritas though picks up Impaired. Now Yozora going towards Choo-Choo's. No peel for Choo-Choo's whatsoever. Another double for Veritas. He is low, but he's still standing. Mickey now finally joins the party. He's going to get the headbutt on Veritas. He's going to get the knock up there as well. The pulverize for no one. Cardin gets some damage done. He's going to have to jump over the wall. Good work. He actually jumped over the wall this time instead of walking into it, but he's caught. There is no way he's got the damage to deal with this as well. Yozora with his second of that fight. It's a double kill on the side of Avant Garde. A ace for 2. Avant Garde far too good right now. Very impressive play. And it just seems like no matter what Legacy do, they're trying to make plays. Let's be honest here, they are more than happy to go in on stuff. It just sort of blows up in their face. And even after Minky Whale was in that top lane, he chased down Kensley. He popped his ult just so he could dive him under the tower. Kensley got away with no health. And then Minky Whale teleported into that tri-bush, into that bot lane confrontation to try and impact it. The pulverize went down, but there was no follow-up. There was no heal at all for Choo-Choo's there.
Yeah, so the issue with the Legacy team comp is that it relies on a lot of ultimates going off in succession. So they're looking for that shockwave, they're looking for that solar flare. But without the relevant backup from teammates and the necessary damage, they're just wasting them potentially.
Absolutely. You know, Legacy, no, if it's the, no leadership of Carbon there. I definitely don't think Impaired is any less at all. If at all, any less of a player than Carbon is. His champion pool is different, and maybe Legacy adjusting to a different paradigm or approach here, given that they do have the Nocturne on their side of things. We know how much Carbon loves his Elise and Lee Sin and those sort of picks, and we can see how impactful Lee Sin's been in this game. Now, Legacy, what do? Well, it's an 11k gold lead to Avant Garde after 20 minutes, no less. And that is a huge deficit. And it's really just been fight after fight. Avant Garde are happy to fight just as much as Legacy are. They're just doing it better. Porky's 3-0-8 now. Minky Whale caught so deep in his top lane. They're going to get 3 onto him as well. He has no hope of really doing enough damage to Veritas here. I don't think he's going to come close, to be honest. But no, Veritas will pick him up here. A fair pick for Avant Garde. Now, a chance for Legacy to aggress on towards this mid tower, and they've got to. This will be their first of the game. And if that isn't indicative of the situation that Legacy have been in through the entirety of this game, then I just don't know what is, Jish.
Yeah, it's looking pretty sad for Legacy at the moment. I mean, you did see the strength of the cow almost 1v3ing and getting away with the kill, but it's just not enough at the moment, really. Legacy are really in a bad spot. They are losing the Baron, actually, so that's going to put them in a worse spot.
Well, they've got no vision. I mean, the map troll is all Avant Garde's here, and EGM wants to make a play to Yozora, to the point where he's trying to use his solar flare to lock him down. Meanwhile, at the Baron pit, Veritas goes super low. Choo-Choo's might get jumped on. If he wants to come forward, he needs to kill Veritas. He does. It's a 1-for-1 trade, though. Nada to pick that one up. Yozora goes in Impaired now, trying to deal with him. EGM straight towards Yozora, but what about Kensley? The man is in the house. Wildcard follows up. It's going to be a kill for Porky there. Impaired did pick up Yozora. Now he's trying to get away. So it's 2 Baron buffs ripped off Avant Garde. But what did Legacy stand to lose at this cost? You see Impaired now just kind of giving into his fate against Porky. He will go down now at 2-for-3. So not Legacy's worst fight now, but it's a Baroned up remainder of Avant Garde. They've got to deal with Kensley getting stunned up here. Minky Whale not going to be able to do the damage. He gets Death Sentence out of the fight. Kensley still sitting out the back. Minky wants the Twisted Fate. He wants it bad, but he cannot take him. Great work from Nada there, and that is a surrender vote from Legacy. They knew they threw everything they could at that one, and they couldn't bring it back. Ladies and gentlemen, Avant Garde there, winning 2 games on the trot. Jeez, my friend, that was incredibly strong play from him in his last 2 games. Legacy just without a response.
Yeah, I think echoing what you said earlier, we've just we got 8 teams that are just actual contenders for the title. Avant played superbly, and that's not even to take away from Legacy. They actually played really well in their game 1, and they even showed signs of hope in games 2 and 3. Avant have really just come out with something new, and it's really impressive to watch.
Absolutely. I have to say, they've been very, very strong these last couple of games we've seen them Legacy. This is what I asked you, just I said, what happens to a team when, they've got to come back from a break and they're playing with a sub and all that sort of stuff, but that doesn't mean at all we're taking anything away from Avant-Garde there. We're just better tonight. Legacy, back to the drawing board perhaps, and maybe a few thoughts now about how to turn their season around. It's definitely not too late. It's only very early in, not even halfway. So we'll be keeping our eyes peeled, I'm sure we will, for Legacy bring it back. But the rise of Avant-Garde is definitely a story, ladies and gentlemen, that you should be checking out. What a great game for them. Look, and we won't hang around for too long. Jish, mate, you've done a fantastic job tonight. Did you have any words you wanted to say before I do the old spiel and close off?
No, just thank you very much to Down TV for having me. It's way harder and way more fun than I expected. I can't wait to see the rest of the CGL season fold out and go Direwolves.
Absolutely. Don't just cast because I can't play the game. I mean, I can't play the game, but I cast because it is also fun. Look, a quick shout out to our sponsors, Logitech, AMD, M-Wave, Netgear, BenQ, and MSI. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Uber here, joined by the lovely Jish. You can catch him on Twitter at JishLol. I'm at UberShout. This has been the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships, our Round 3 match in Avant-Garde, the 2-1 victory they were looking for, at least a win over Legacy Esports in a little bit of a slump right now, but that is definitely not where their story ends, ladies and gentlemen. Let us look forward towards our next week. We're going to be back on Sunday at the very latest. Got a game at 3 p.m. It's going to be, I think, Exodus going up against NV. That'll be 3 p.m. Sunday the 24th, so check that one out. Later on that night as well, we are going to see Legacy Esports go up against Team Immunity. That is at 7 p.m. Put it in your calendars. Write it on your note. Write it on the back of your hand. Write it on your screen with a permanent marker. I don't care. Just get there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name's been Uber. We're here with Jish. We've had a great night, and we hope to have Jish back again, by the way, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Definitely plenty of awesome feedback in the server. Anyway, I'm done. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the Rift. Thanks for watching.